everybody, and welcome to Connect to Success with Ashley Owens on RVN TV during your lunch break, 12:30 on Thursdays, where we interview power networkers and for their tactical tips and practical takeaways in the greater Philadelphia and South Jersey area. I've had a lot of coffee this morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Ashley.
I'm so excited. So Jason Ranalli from Ranalli Headshots is one of the people that, unless you see his work, you don't realize the kind of greatness that you're in. I'm going to boost your ego just for a second. So what that means is that he does headshots for a lot of different industries, for models and talent, for corporate, and he is a subject matter expert in headshots. There are a few people that I can count, on my hand with about headshot photographers that are in this area that are great, and he is the top 3. So I am thrilled not only to have you on the show, but I'm so excited people get to know that you're here. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, God. Can I stop talking? So, Jason, so where you and I met through Karen Moffitt.
Yeah, a mutual connection.
Isn't that great?
So yeah, I met Karen through another networking group,
right.
And
it was BNI, right?
It was. It absolutely was BNI. So Karen makes these. If you don't know Karen, go get her cookies. She does these awesome desserts and cookies. But she introduced me to you. She says you need to meet this high energy person, Ashley, who's got the same kind of energy that you do. And I said, okay, let me give her a call. She's a networking concierge.
Ooh, what the hell is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Noxious.
So we talked on the phone, and like right off the bat, I was like, there's definitely some kind of synergy here.
Yeah.
And I loved your energy. I love how you kind of boosted people up, extremely positive. And I was like, this is the kind of people that I want to be around.
Oh, please go.
As an entrepreneur, as someone who runs my own business. So we've kind of kept in touch, ever since.
And then we ran into each other at a party, a holiday party, which was the creepiest thing ever because I had just started Ashley Assists, and you had recognized me because I was obnoxious all over LinkedIn. My picture was everywhere because I was just pushing out content. Yeah. And you had come up, and our very good friend Will Ball from
Vi Talent.
Vi Talent, that's right, Vi Talent. You're on his vendor list for his models and his actors, which is, Will hates everybody. Like, he doesn't like anybody. So it's really, really great to have the fact that he has vetted you.
Yeah. So he was kind enough to invite me to, he has this kind of industry party that he was throwing. And I had seen your face everywhere.
So obnoxious.
And I'm walking through the party, I'm like, that girl kind of looks familiar and stuff, Let me introduce myself. Maybe I know her and stuff. And it turned out to be you. And you're like, it is me. I just don't have my glasses on, my signature glasses. So we got to talking even more, but it was nice to finally meet in person.
Dude,
but I think we've become even more kind of intertwined in the circles that we travel in ever since.
That collaboration has been so wonderful. You came out and you took pictures at my Cocktails and Conversation event where I partner with nonprofits, and I know your work every time on LinkedIn. I'm like, Jason did that one, Jason did that one, and it's been, everybody that came to that event was blown away by your work because you took amazing pictures quickly. I mean, and that obviously you take your time with your clients, but you donated your time and donated your work to a lot of people that I know, and they were absolutely thrilled.
Yeah,
so,
and it was for a great cause too. So we got to help a lot of people.
So thank you for that. You brought in all of your equipment, like you set up shop, man. Like it was great.
When I set up shop, I set up shop. I don't usually show up with like one of these little shoot-through umbrellas. Like I'm bringing a lot of gear, but to get the aesthetic that we do for headshots in the higher range of the market, it kind of requires that. Requires a little bit of talent and expertise, not just on the photographer side, but to have the right gear for that as well.
But you know what I love about you though is that I used to be an actor a while ago, so I knew a little bit how to position my face. That has gone since. So when I came to you and we had our headshot session, I need to be told what to do because my mind is in different places. I'm no longer in that train of thought anymore. So when you were like, okay, I want you to do this, and it was micro movements. Oh man.
Yeah, it is. It's
so. I have never had that kind of headshot taken of me before. It's so good.
Yeah, it's extremely small movements that can change something from being an average headshot to something that's very compelling. So even though you have an acting background, and mind you, most of my clients, they've never been in front of a camera before. Like they have no idea. They're business folks, they're CEOs, they're executives, they have no idea. Right. But even with an actor, there's a reason why there's a director in the movie. It's because the actor knows how to portray certain things, but not necessarily in that setting, in front of that camera. So it's my job to be your mirror, be your director in a sense, to kind of just help you through these little sub movements and micro expressions to help you look like the most compelling version of yourself.
Dude, that's
you know,
awesome.
and as long as you come in and play ball just like you did and have fun with it, and I think you were even sick that day.
I was so sick.
Well, you did a
Yep.
great job. You wouldn't
Thank
guess
you.
it from your headshot, you know. But that's how you get to where you got to go with headshots, which is get something that's compelling. It's not just another headshot. It's something that kind of shows someone having a, you know, being trustworthy, being competent looking, but also being friendly or boss at the same time.
Yeah.
A couple different body language, you know, pieces being put out there.
And it was so nice to have you kind of walk through the branding portion of it. I mean, I know there's another photographer that does a lot of wonderful women's portraits, and she does family portraits. Her name's Brenda Jankowski. Actually, she's part of Power Match as well.
Okay.
And Brenda is also a wonderful photographer. Sarah Brahms Miller's a fantastic photographer, and everyone has their niche, right? So your niche is straight on headshots. Like that's your bread and butter, but that's your subject matter expertise. So why did you never decide to go into a different direction, or at least add on more service offerings?
You know, well, the truth is there's a lot of awesome photographers around Philly. The people doing just awesome work. I look at the work and I'm like, wow, that is great for what they do. When I got into the headshot game, I looked at headshot specifically, which is kind of like just here to here, very tightly cropped. And I got introduced to some other headshot photographers, my mentor specifically, this guy named Peter Hurley, but he made them look very like alluring in a sense, very compelling. So I wanted to just do one thing and be the best at it, which is these darn headshots, right? So I didn't try to dilute the brand by saying, I'm gonna do weddings or all this standing upright stuff too. Like, I really just wanna go for just the facial expression, you know? Just that connection with the eyes. And I've honed on that, I've built my brand around that, and that's specifically what people come to me for, you know?
And so when people call you, what problem are they having?
They're having a problem where they hate being in front of the camera, right? And they just can't get a good headshot. So I think when I came on the scene, at least in Philly, people were like, you know, a lot of the headshots that I was seeing, and even to this day, they look like a deer in headlights. People think of headshots as these old kind of yearbook photo type things, you know, like where we're kind of sitting there like this and all this kind of stuff. So they weren't very compelling shots. They're more just like, they're almost like a mug shot with a suit or something like that. And like, that's not, that's a all right shot, but it doesn't show that person in a very compelling light. If a CEO is coming in, I want them to look like a leader. So I focus on giving them the body language, giving them the facial expression to make them look compelling, to make them look like a leader, to make them look trustworthy, you know?
So that's amazing. So what would you tell people as far as when they go into a headshot session with you, what to come prepared with?
Don't overthink the clothing, don't overthink the jewelry, you don't even need jewelry. All the clothing is just simple, solid colors. I think people tend to think that when they come in for a headshot session that they're like gonna, I don't know, that they're going to have to dress up with these like big collars and jean jackets and all this stuff, and it's really not necessary. So you can come with very simple apparel. It's only a setup for the face. And the big thing they come in with is just a playful attitude, right? Leave the baggage at the door. It's my job to kind of warm them up and get them loose in front of the camera because
really good at that.
they come in and like, they're freaked out. They don't want to be in front of a camera. I don't like to be in front of a camera, you know? I'm freaked out now. There's all these lights and stuff around, you know?
I know.
Like, but just like you're making me feel more comfortable, it's my job to make them feel more comfortable in the studio. So we get past that initial 5-10 minutes of like this awkwardness, but then they start to get the motions down, they get the chin out, we tilt it down, we do all these little things and tricks to take up a couple years off. And once they get to that point, now they're having a conversation together. And then when somebody has a conversation with someone, as opposed to saying cheese, now they get compelling expressions, stuff that's more them rather than just deer in headlights, stiff stuff.
So
you know?
Was this your only job? What did you do
No,
before
this was not my only job.
Okay.
So I've been doing photography for, at least a decade now, much to the dismay of my wife, all right? As
every entrepreneur
I know, right,
like,
right.
I'm sorry,
Every entrepreneur
spouse.
is probably saying that.
I'm so sorry.
I started out actually doing like working on the trade floor for Merrill Lynch, managing IT there.
No kidding.
Yeah, doing IT support on the trade floor. So a lot of that job was dealing with very difficult personalities, people who have extremely, you know, was extremely demanding client base. So a lot of it wasn't even so much being good at IT. There was people smarter than me. There was people better at computers than me. But what I was good at was just kind of putting people at ease, letting them say their piece, and then helping them, and then letting them get on with their day. So I take that same approach to headshots, which is like just getting people into a comfortable place, so they can do their thing. You know, just letting them do their thing, you know?
What do you think the most common, the most common thing that you have, the most common issue that people have when they come to you and say, I want my headshots redone?
The common issue is fear of failure and that they're wasting their money, because 9 out of 10 people that come to me, they've never had a good headshot.
Yeah.
You know, so they're coming to me and, you know, not that I'm the best headshot photographer out there, like I'm good, but you know, they're coming to me because they've somehow have looked at my website or they've met me and I've instilled some confidence in them that they're going to get a good job done on them this time.
Yeah.
So they have a fear, and we
Yeah.
need to overcome that fear,
Right.
you know? But it's a collaborative effort, you know? How we have that collaboration is like, I shoot right into like a laptop computer, which makes our job easy. They can see the shots together right as they're coming in. So, you know, they're not leaving my studio with any question in their mind about what they're getting. We see it right there. And if we need to go back in front of the camera and try a couple different things or maybe try a different garment, we do that too.
Make it work.
Yeah, I don't put any time limits on it. Like, come in. If you want to come in for an hour and a half and, you know, try different garments and get used to it, I got all the time in the world. That's the whole thing, because I want to give them the shot that they want rather than rushing them out the door. Rust headshots are a little bit, you know, that's where you get some of the more stiff expressions, and I kind of shy away from that, you know, to an extent.
Beautiful. And on that note, when we return, we're going to talk to Jason about his practical tips and tactical takeaways, because clearly he's got a personality for networking. So when we return, we'll learn more about that. Stay tuned.
Love my style, I'm dancing tonight. My smile from pearly white side. Love myself, love myself, love my style. Pearly white, love your smiles. From teens to grown-ups faces, they can change your life. All ages and all faces, your smile from pearly white. Love yourself, love your style. Pearly white, love your smile.
For independent living for seniors age 62 and over, People Inc. offers safe, maintenance-free apartments across Western New York. The affordable rent is income-based. For more information, call People Inc. Senior Living at 817-9090.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Assurance. It's a word, a touch, a look that sparks a feeling. Peace of mind that everything will be all right. These are the moments that inspire us to do more than you'd ever expect from a car insurance company at a price that's less than you'd expect. This is more than just insurance. This is Plymouth Rock Assurance. Visit us at PlymouthRock.com.
Hi, my name's Casey Price, host of a brand new show called Everyday Elder Care. My show will help you take the stress out of caring for your elderly loved one by educating you about options and solutions you may not even know exist. Tune in every Tuesday at noon on RVN TV. We'll see you there.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest line-caught seafood, our Wine Spectator award-winning wine list, and soul-satisfying desserts. Bring that together with the perfect date, the winning business deal, a memorable family celebration. Welcome to Rod's Steak and Seafood Grill in nearby Morristown, New Jersey. Bring your appetite and feed your passion.
Welcome back to Connect to Success with Ashley Owens on RVN TV, where we talk to power networkers in the greater Philadelphia and South Jersey area. That's a mouthful. I have Jason Ranalli from Ranalli Headshots, and we were just talking before the break about your background. So you were in corporate before you started on doing headshots. So we've already established that you're a subject matter expert. We've already established that there are a bunch of different ways to come in and feel comfortable while working with you. So how do you take all of that expertise in people and people's behavior and what makes them tick and turn it around into growing your business with networking?
Well, that's a very good question. And so I don't consider myself a natural networker. Like, I never did, right?
Yeah. Well, the stereotypical networker.
Yeah. And it's awkward. It's just as awkward for me as it is for anybody else that had got into it, because when I worked in corporate America, like, I didn't have to network. Like, the work just comes to you.
It's like inside sales stuff.
Yeah, it's all inside stuff. Like, you didn't really have to do anything. You would just get a recruiter and go to your next job if you wanted to change jobs. Like, but here you're going to get work yourself, so you need to network with other people.
You can't talk about yourself. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like weird. I hate talking about myself.
We're both Italian. We like talking at people, not to
yes,
people.
Exactly. As I'm pointing at you right now. Right? So like that's the whole thing. Like, I love to gesture and get animated and stuff, but I don't really feel comfortable talking about myself.
Yeah.
So how did I kind of overcome that when I had to go out and do networking? Well, really the big thing, and it's kind of the same way that I handle it in my studio, and even when I worked in corporate, it is listening. Just listen to people. Everyone out there has a compelling story. They've been through some stuff that's not so great.
Yeah.
They've been through some stuff that's awesome, that they're proud of. I'm willing to listen to any one of those things. So I go to any kind of a networking event, and I'll just engage people and just listen to their story.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to hand business cards out. Like, that's a big, that's a big no-no. But as you get to listen to people's stories, you find ways to connect with them.
Yeah.
And it may not be about business, right? It may be at a far personal level.
Right.
There's people to this day that I still keep in touch with, even though our businesses are not aligned in any way, but I really like them as a person, right? We may have had our kids, are going to go to the same school or something, or we have kids of the same age, or we grew up near each other, or some other kind of thing, but I keep in touch with those people, but who knows who they may come across that may know somebody that can engage with me at my business level. So it's just more about listening, I think.
And do you think it has a lot to do with being top of mind, right? I mean, if people don't give a crap about what you do, they care how you made them feel. At the very end of the day, it's the human behavior.
Yes.
I don't know if you've been doing some of this research, but I love human behavior, and I'm trying to educate myself more on that to be able to effectively communicate.
Right.
And I'm listening a lot to Mel Robbins, but I also had heard about the connection within the connection. So that means that the 6 people around you and their friends actually have a scientific impression on you. So if like your 6 friends are overweight and their 6 friends are overweight, you're going to be overweight.
Okay.
Isn't that nuts? I just heard about this the other day. So I find it to be interesting that yes, networking is getting to make friends, but those friends have to be the right ones.
They do.
To be able to help you succeed and also help them succeed.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as like your childhood relationships. If you kind of grow up in a town where like nobody's doing anything and all the kids are like latchkey kids that they're not motivated to do any kind of homework, anything like that, or you're going to wind up the same way to an extent, right? So again, it goes back to who you surround yourself with. You want to surround yourself with good quality people.
People that are better than you.
People that are absolutely better than you.
Yeah.
I'm always fortunate enough to meet people that are smarter than me,
oh my God, I love it.
more charming than me, have got things figured out better than me, and I'm thankful for that. But that's part of the reason why I'm a success in some cases. It's because like they've helped me out and they've kind of opened my eyes to different things that I didn't see.
You know what's really interesting about you is that your self-awareness on who you are and what you expect from people is not a harsh expectation. It is you expect the same respect that you give them. And I feel like that comes across without you even saying it because of how direct and how engaging you are, but also how you're never looking for the sale. Like, I've never heard you once ever say, I am looking for a lead, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. You just joined a group that I'm very close with. It's a Power Match.
Love it.
They were actually my first guests ever on our van. So Sarah Rosenberg is a very close friend of mine, and she has built this amazing group of people that cross-collaborate and promote with each other.
Yes.
And so you just joined the group, so I'm very excited because now you're a member. But you had told me that you had your very first meeting, and it was all what you would hope to be. It was like a mini mastermind.
Yes.
That, a lot of times people, it goes right over their heads because they are working in their business instead of on their business. And so that ends up being kind of like a clouded perception. So what do you think drove you to be in that position? Because look, everybody has to eat, everybody has to work, everybody has to make money somehow. How have you taken that experience with people in those mini mastermind sessions and pushed that into an area that is profitable but also benefits the growth of your business?
That is hard because we
tough.
all want to like make money in our businesses. I mean, that's why we're here. We have to exist. We need to put food on the table, right?
It's a challenging question. There's no right answer. I was just curious.
Think, but with the mastermind, and when you get in these kinds of situations where you have the privilege of talking to people who may just be a little bit further along in their path than you are, you get the best of breed ideas. And so you get a chance to employ those best of breed ideas into your own business. Because if you don't have some new fresh ideas that you are working on strategically, well then you're just like taking on whatever business comes down the pike.
And it's not smart choices.
It's not smart choices.
It ends up being more of a survival thing than a strategic thing.
So you're surviving on every dollar that comes in rather than employing a strategy to get the best clients that you can. So one thing that I've done and I've learned from these masterminds, and I did know this a while back, is not to just chase after the money. Go after the best clients. Go after the clients that really resonate with what you do, right? They're going to come in and they're going to have fun with it. And we're going to have a good time together and they're going to be happy with the product and I'm going to love having them in my studio. You know, I do this to get paid, but I do it because I love it. I made more money, you know, on working in IT on Wall Street, right? But I love doing this. So I want to have the best clients at the end of the day. So taking some of these strategies allows me to, you know, kind of gently say no to some of the stuff that's not great strategically for my business and start to reach out to the stuff or the people that are. You know, that's a big part of it.
That's, okay, so when that happens, what strategy do you use? Let's go into some practical tips and tactical takeaways, my favorite part. So when you consider yourself, I know you and I have talked previously, you are an extroverted introvert. And you had talked about going to events and you know, you hate talking about yourself, but you're really good at asking the right questions, the deep, meaningful business conversation questions, and being able to rectify a strategy with that person or pull out some things with them. What has been your top 3 most important things that you do when you meet somebody for the first time and you could potentially be a strategic partner of theirs, or they could potentially come in for a session with you? Doesn't
matter who it is. I'm kind of the type of person that I will somewhat mimic that person's energy to an extent. So it's called and in headshot land, we call this the chameleon, right? If somebody comes in, it's called the chameleon. It's a secret. Because if someone comes into my studio and they're very meek and quiet, right? And they're very kind of like, you know, timid, I'm not going to start jumping up and down and shouting because it's going to make them feel kind of weird. Conversely, if someone comes into my studio with a lot of energy, I'm not going to be all timid and stuff because I want to harness that energy and meet their energy. So I do the chameleon when I go out and network. It's the same thing to try and match that person's energy. So immediately they feel that I'm someone that they can at least talk to and divulge a little bit of information to, a little bit about themselves. And then the second thing is just start gently asking questions about how they are. It could be something as simple as like, okay, weather's a cliched thing to ask about. Oh, how was the weather outside? But maybe like, how'd you find this group? You know, who brought you in? And
well, those are the best questions, right? Like, what brings you here today? That's always a great, like, oh, I'm here to make business, or I'm here to make friends, or actually I'm here just because my friend brought me. Oh, introduce me to your friend. All right, so, Jason, top 3 things. We're going to do kind of like a rapid fire succession. You said ask questions, right? Listen, active listening. And then what's the last thing?
The last thing is follow up, you know, try to find them on LinkedIn and meet them wherever they're, you know, wherever they're putting out their media or they're doing their thing, like try to find them there and this way you can link up with them later. So you may not see them at the next networking event, but you'll see them online and you can keep abreast of what they're doing.
And be their champion.
And, right, exactly.
Beautiful. So, Jason, look into that beautiful camera to your wonderful audience there and tell people where they can find you.
You can reach me at www.jranalliheadshots.com. All my information is right there. Look forward to meeting you guys.
Awesome. Now, if anybody needs an example of what Jason does, look at my headshot because it's on my LinkedIn and it's the best headshot, one of the best headshots I've ever received besides Brenda, besides Sarah, Brahms Miller, all those people. You have created a great image for me and I appreciate that, and every photographer is different. So it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we'll tune in next week where we talk to the next power networkers in the greater Philadelphia and South Jersey area. Thank you for watching Connect to Success on RVN TV, 12:30 on your lunch break, and we will see you next week.